Hi guys. I'm Calamity Joe. Welcome back to a new Minecraft YouTube live stream on the Calamity Joe YouTube channel. Welcome to this stream. Okay, we got adverts. I do apologise. I went to eat lunch. I said 20 minutes, and then I went to eat lunch, which apparently it took me longer to eat lunch than I expected. Well, hello Egg. Welcome to the stream. Here we go. We are live, guys, on the Survival Legacy world. It's not a live Survival Legacy episode. It's not a live Survival Legacy episode. We're just on this world for today. Just because you like my profile picture? I gotta be honest, I can't see what it is. My screen's I cannot really see what your profile picture is, to be honest, from here. I'm gonna go and put this link in right now to my Discord server. Basically to explain that my stream is now live. It's my Discord one. Oh, cool. Here we go. At everyone, the stream is live. Here we go. The stream is live. There we go. So, welcome to the stream, everybody. I am on survival. I'm on my work. Hello, Dusty Shadowman. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Right. Hello to everyone that's joined. I've not informed of the benefits. Yeah, which is why I've got so many on my world. That's why I've got so many on the realm. Because you can craft them in Legacy. Because you can craft them in Legacy, that's why I've got some. Daily 3 blocks. I haven't got any blocks. There you go. There's your 3. I'm going to take this wall back because I just shot dupe the gold blocks. Yeah, dupe the gold blocks and then you can have unlimited. I know how to dupe of you. I know how to dupe because of my vids. Yeah. I used to find duplication glitch by accident and I used to film them. I know ones that work right now, but there's no point in me using them. Hello, Mr. Dragon. Welcome to the stream. So, guys, I thought we'd have some fun right now in a minute and go and look at the build that we made the other day. I'm going to quickly dump this and then I'm going to put this wall back in this chest. Right, so I thought we'd have a look at the next build at a build. So thank you to the people who subscribed. As it stands, we are 46 subscribers off 7,600. Alright then, let's go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, I say. Right, so we are on my mountain. We're on a mountain. Back from the abyss. Yes, I do apologise. I went for lunch. I put that the stream would start in 20 minutes. I went off for lunch, and then I suddenly realised that I'd been gone a lot longer than I thought I would. I was gone a lot longer than I thought. Can I join the server? This isn't a server, I'm afraid. This is my world. This is just my Legacy world. Hello, Horror Key Studios. Welcome to the stream. But what I mean, Marta Brawl, is that this is there is a realm version of this world, but it's only for channel members. I really like this house, guys, that we built the other day. Do you do servers? Well, we have a realm copy of this war for channel members. For people that buy the channel membership. But yeah, I don't do servers. In a way. But how did my #1 spot get taken? I have no idea. I really like this. Right, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Guys, if we go directly over there, I can see it. I don't know if you can. But the Aztec pyramid is just there. Literally, the Aztec pyramid is literally just there. Because I can see a hint of this. I could see a hint of the stone through the build. I had to shoot a short film called Last Christmas once. It was going to be called One Last Christmas, and my lecturer made me change it, and my lecturer changed the script. My lecturer, would you guys like to know the best bit of feedback I've ever got in my life? My old uni lecturer changed my script and then had the cheek to turn around and say compare. My uni lecturer changed the script and then basically had the cheek to say, compared to what you wrote, this is the work of a genius. Yeah, I was writing a film called I was writing a short film called One Last Christmas, and my uni lecturer at the time had the cheek to change my script, and then say to me, compared to what you wrote, this is the work of a genius. But have you ever seen anyone say that? Have you ever heard anyone say that before, guys? That's basically saying I'm a better writer than you. I'm a better writer than you. Meh. What do you guys think? What a thing to say to a student. What a thing to say to a student. If it's shit, I tell you it's shit. But that is true. But I'm a better builder than you, meh. But I'm not a better builder, but a better. But it was basically, I'm a better writer than you, meh. Yeah, which, you know, that's how much money do I make on YouTube? Why do you want to know? Hello, Swiss Rex. Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to quickly mute myself a second, guys, because I want to close the door. I found a letter from the king. Should I open it? I mean, I would open it if it's a letter from the king. I don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, not much, Gamer Playco. Not much. Hello, Swiss Rex. How are you, Swiss? Bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba boom boom ba boom. Doing very good. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. That's really kind of you. But yeah, guys. So literally, I had to shoot a short film called Last Christmas when I was in my first year of uni, and my lecturer changed my script, and then had the cheek to say to me, compared to what you wrote, this is the work of a genius. Like, that's not feedback. Like, there's nothing you can learn from that. That's the first time I've ever had to write a professional script, and then I get that feedback. And I'm still like, what? I'm still writing. I'm still, to this day, I want to learn I have a crisp ham sandwich. Oh, nice. I had tomato soup for lunch. Sorry, I choked. Don't know what on. Don't know what on though. Guys, I got a video coming out at midnight tonight. There's a video coming out at midnight tonight. The next episode of Mindmas comes out, so 25 videos in 25 days. I've put all the playlists. Of every Mindmas episode I've ever done in my Discord server in a chat channel called Mindmas. Basically, every single episode's there. Imagine if you generally were 7 foot and 70 pounds. Like, you would literally be a twig. You would literally be a twig. I don't actually think you'd survive being that. If you were 7 foot and 70 pounds, I think you would generally not survive. But I don't know. Let's have a look. 7 foot, 70 pounds. Yeah, would you guys like to know what I just searched that in? Breathing would be a workout. Yeah, do you want to know what that says? Someone who is 7 feet tall, which is 84 inches and weighs 70 pounds, has a BMI index of 7.6. According to the standard BMI calculations for adults 20 years or older, this weight is classified as severely underweight. The typical healthy weight for someone who's 7 foot is between 225 pounds and 275. So you would be 150 to 200 pounds underweight. If you were 7 foot, you'd be nearly 150 to 200 pounds off healthy. Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot though, right? In many places though, 275 pounds would be overweight. But that's but if you're 7 foot, that's basically healthy. You find that attractive, what, being 200 pounds underweight? I mean, even girls who are like 5 foot weigh more than that. If you're 7 foot and 22 pounds, you'd be dead, because 22 you wouldn't survive that. That would be borderline. That would be like overly anorexic. Did you know dying kills you? That is true. Yeah, I never thought of that before. Never thought of that. Yeah. Yeah, that's like common sense though, isn't it? That's like common sense. It's like, who came first? The skins and veg. What, you'd be less than that. Like, 22 pounds, that's probably the weight you guys were when you were, I don't know, a year old. When you're 2 years old, you're probably that heavy. Well, there are some cases in the world where people are heavier than that. I saw a case a few years ago when there was a kid somewhere in the world. He was 10 and 30 stone. I'm like, how can you be that? How can you be that much at that age? Johnny English, great movie. They're doing a fourth film. A fourth film's meant to be coming out soon. Like, 30 stone is 420 pounds, guys. 420 pounds. Like, When I was 8, I was 180. That's still quite a lot. That's still quite a lot, but it depends on your height. I suppose it depends on your height as well, but 180 at 8 is a lot. I was short. Yeah, to put that into perspective, Swiss, if you were 180 at 8, I mean, how old are you, Swiss? You're like 14, 15? Yeah. No, I'm underscore. But name a car for an edit. I don't know, an Audi Quattro. I don't know. Yeah, what was I gonna say? No, but yeah, 180 at 8's a lot. That's probably the same weight I was when I was 16. Yeah, Johnny English is a great film. Johnny English is a great film. So Johnny English was based on the fact that Rowan Atkinson used to do. Now I'm like 150. Yeah, that's not. But 180 at 8 is a lot. Like literally. I remember you saying you're like 15. You probably, when you were 8, you probably weighed the same amount I did when I was 16. That is a lot. Wow. I think that's probably the heaviest. That's probably the heaviest I've ever heard. I mean, out of thing, guys. I was 16 into. I was 7. No, probably when I was 17. I was 17 in 2019. I was 17 in 2019, and that's probably the same way I was when I was 17. Blimey. But fair play for losing weight, though. But I swear, if it wasn't for me going broke, I wouldn't have become slimmer. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, though, you're still quite young, aren't you, Swiss? You're like 14. I know you're like 14, 15. So I wouldn't worry about weights when you're like 4. I wouldn't worry about weight when you're like 14, 15. Because you're still growing. I wouldn't worry about your weight when you're like 14, 15 because you're still growing. I've known people. I've known people who were in my school year that literally they were fat, and then as soon as they came out of puberty, they were skinny because some of it was baby fat. And obviously, as they've grown, some of that fat's turned into muscle. Yeah, true. So I come from a perspective, guys, that I was really skinny when I was younger. So like when I was like 14, when I was like 13, sorry, when I was like 13, I could eat whatever I wanted and just not put on any weight at all. When I was younger, I could eat whatever I wanted and not put any weight on at all. So I think it got to the point though. My dad once said to me when I was about I don't know 12 or 13. My dad said to me like he's never like he did not understand how I wasn't 18 stone, which is roughly about 250 pounds, guys. Yeah. I've never been £250. But yeah, it's a thing though. But also, Swish, you don't have to worry about that more or less because you are very tall. Like 5'9" is fairly tall. Even though it doesn't look tall, even though it doesn't look tall in the grand scheme of it, it technically is tall. It's above the average height globally. It's a night in MC longer than a day. No, a day's 20 minutes and Minecraft night is 10 minutes. Well, yeah. So when you said you're 5'9", you're fairly tall. Like most people aren't. Most people aren't that height at your age. And because of obviously as you said, you're living in Africa, I would imagine you're probably the tallest person in that class. Just as a guess. Hello, the Joke 60. Welcome to the stream. I am, yeah. I would imagine you're probably the tallest by quite a bit. I would say then. Because that is the case. That is generally the case. If you're American, if you're from like the US or Europe, you tend to be taller. I'm as tall as most of the adults there are slightly taller, definitely taller than the kids. Well, that's normal though. Some people have gigantism. Yeah. What do I think about the Philippines? I've never really been there, so I can't really pass judgment on it. Never really been there. But I've met people who are from there, and a lot of them have seemed quite nice. But yeah, that's the thing though. Like the average height globally is only 5'7". The average height globally is only 5'7". So even though I make jokes about being short, I'm 5'9". So in fact, most of the people here are probably taller than me actually. But yeah, in a grand scheme of it, I'm not actually short. But then, on an average, I am taller than a bit of the. I'm taller than 5% of. I'm taller than I don't know, 50%. I'm taller than 50% of the world. Well, I'm taller than 50% of. It's an interesting one. I'm taller than 50% of the people in my country, and I'm shorter than 50% of the people in my country. It rained for the first time in like 5 months for 2 minutes. But yeah, but as you said, it is Africa though. I found out I'm now 5'10" now somehow. What is that? 100. That's 178, isn't it, Egg? Is that 178? Can I join your game? I'm playing Legacy Console Edition. Unfortunately. Yeah, what is that, Egg? Isn't 5'10" 178 centimeters? I think I tend to forget the cm. Yeah. Yeah, so you're taller than me. You're taller than me by 3 centimeters. 17 days till Christmas. What the heck is the time? Yeah, 19 days to my birthday. Why though? Yes, you are British. Well, British can be anything. You can be classed as British if your parents are were from Britain. So my cousin's technically my cousin's technically British Australian. Yeah, so if you're 5'10", you're between 178 and 180 centimeters. So if you're British, if you're 5'9", you're between 175 and 177. I'm just 175. Just. Anything under and I'd be 5'8". I died down probably before Thanksgiving. Cool. Yeah, you can continue growing until you're 23. So, for example, I haven't grown. I haven't grown since I was 18. Yeah, I haven't grown since I was 18. So the last time I grew was 2020. I haven't grown since I was 18. I went from 170 centimeters to 175. I knew a guy in my uni college class. He was 5'6" when he started college, and then he came out the year later and he was 6 foot. So he grew 6 inches over. He grew 6 inches over the He grew 6 inches while he in that time in the time off. Crazy. Funny. Six inches is a lot. Yeah. What is that? That's like I don't know. I don't even know what that is. That's like 14. That's like 14, 15 centimeters. So he 15 centimeters. He left at he was 170 centimeters in the first year of college, and he came back the second at 185. Yeah. Yeah, weird. I probably would be like a centimeter taller if I didn't lean to the side, but bad posture, guys. Bad posture. I tend to lean to the side a bit. I probably would be a little bit taller if I stood straight. If I stood straight, I probably would be a little bit taller. What the hell is a button nose? Oh, like a snowman. Oh, yeah. Thank you to the people who subscribed. We're aiming to hit 8K by my birthday. Right, lung kills, yeah. Yeah, my posture's awful. Portal opens. Oh, my nose. Yeah, I want to thank everybody. Like we're now in the rundown to Christmas, 17 days. So I've got another 17 videos to bring out. I didn't expect Egg to say that, but oh, maybe stretch. Yeah. How is everybody on this stream today? Oh, thank you to the person who subbed. I want to do some more content next week, guys. Everyone's technically related. Guys, we built Sex yesterday. The shop. It's a shop in the UK. You can call it CEX or Kex, but it's actually pronounced Sex. It's called the Central Exchange. It's basically it's called the Essential Exchange. It's one of my favourite shops because they sell old video games, DVDs, computers, consoles. They had a Nintendo Switch 2 in there the other week and an Xbox Series X. They had a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in there. They have films, TV. Basically, the films cost £1. Here we go. I bought the Book Thief in. They're a good film from 2013, and I bought it for £1. I bought it for £1. Ooh, I bought it for £1. It was a good deal. Oh, that shop again. Yeah, we're talking about the shop. Swift. Maybe in Alabama, egg. Sorry. I'm just kidding just saying to my American audience, I absolutely love America, but sometimes I can't resist making a joke about America. Have you guys ever watched Top Gear? My dad always says I look like one of those old European paintings. What? Which one? The Mona Lisa or something? Or well, I'm British with Joe. I know you're British. You're not my old lecturer. You're not my old college and uni lecturer, are you? Because he was a Geordie. He used to mention film all the time. Film, categorically. I've asked you 3 times. That's the things he used to say to us. Like the overall paintings. I'm a bit confused. I'm waiting for 7,777 subs. Like the overall prints. Oh, you're talking about like overall faces. I only went to college. Yeah. Yeah, my college lecturer was from my college lecturer was a Geordie, and he was proper fun. He was proper funny. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have that face myself. Yeah, it's called an overall face. It's basically if you've got a long face. It's basically if you've got a really long face. So 10k subs before GTA 6. I want to hit 10k subs before December 12th next year, because December 12th next year my channel will be 10 years old. Yeah, so I have an overall face, guys, because basically if you've got an overall face, it means your face is long. Here. Yeah, here it is. Overall faces are considered longer than they are wide. So, for example, guys, my face is like a foot long. Here, I found a tape measure, actually. I'm going to measure my face. Where's my chin? There's my chin. Yeah, a foot long face. Yeah, so my... Well, it's not actually that. It's not actually that long, guys. But how are you? I'm really good. Solar circles. What I'm saying. So what I'm saying, guys, is like from cheek to cheek on my face. From my face, guys, is probably like 5 inches wide and about 8 inches long. So, well, 8 or 9. So yeah, I have an overall face. It's basic. An overall face is where your face is longer than it is wide. Yeah, well, your face cheeks. Oh, for God's sake. So yeah, yeah, that's what it means, Swiss. If they say you have an overall face, it means that basically you've got a long face. Because my face is over a foot. Because my face is like a foot. Yeah, but then Caesar said the British Isles were some of the worst people. They were swamp people. Yeah, but that's because Britain was tribal at the time. But then the Romans came to Britain and basically took the tribal people and changed them. I just reacted to a kid named Emilia. She's so spoilt. Now I know who's the worst, most hated internet kid. Well, there are people spoilt. There are spoilt people in the world. Yeah, so technically, guys, the rest of me is only 4 foot. Technically, the rest of me is only 4 foot because my face is a foot. Technically, so that means technically I'm taller than people just because of my head's huge. Your face is a foot. Yeah, technically, we come from a land down under. Yeah, yeah, but basically, from my chin to the top of my head, it's almost a foot. It's like so from the bottom of my chin. Yeah, from the top of my chin to the top of my chin to just below my hair is like 25 centimeters, which is like 7 centimeters under a foot. Technically, the country that's land down under is Australia. Yeah, yeah, they took the piss in Top Gear about that. So they, in Top Gear, they were all in on it. The Australian guys were in on it too. Top Gear Australia was in on it too. Basically, they were doing a Britain versus Australia challenge. So the guys, their entrance was planned out with them, and the joke was that they were going to arrive in a prison van. And the joke was that they were being allowed back into the country the same way their ancestors left. Which, honestly, you got to say though, props to the Australian Top Gear Australia, because not many presenters would turn around. Not many like TV presenters would turn around and allow themselves to be fucking take the piss off. Well, Australia's funny. Tyrese is an interesting one. I think he's an interesting guy. When he got mad with me on a stream, which I know that he said he's very reactive, which it is, which I definitely see that. I definitely see that he's really reactive. Sometimes I think he reacts too harshly, though. He had a go at me for disrespecting an Australian chant. But what he didn't know is that Australian chant is just a rip-off of a British chant, which is like nearly half a century older. Oggy Oggy Oggy, Aussie 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 is a Aussie 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 Oi 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 is a rip-off of Oggy 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 Oi Oi Oi, and Oggy 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 is 40 or 50 years older. But you can't moan at someone for doing a chant. Like, if you don't know that the chant is much older, if you don't know the chant is much older, like, you can't turn around and, like, but the way he reacted, saying that if I ever disrespect Australia, he's going to report my channel, I thought that's not normal. Americans are the hillbillies of the West. I wouldn't say Australia's a hillbillies. Australia's a lovely country. But when Tyrese said that, he was saying about being strictly taught, but that's too strictly taught. That's basically that's basically blind loyalty to your nation, that you argue with people if you think they're disrespecting it. Imagine somebody saying Britain's shit, and you go straight up to them and threatening to report them. Yeah, I remember him saying he has autism, but I think that's part of his autism. I think he's a little bit reactive. Well, technically they are quite similar. They're both shooting type of countries. Yeah, I think I remember him saying about how reactive he is, but I think he's got autism. I remember him saying about that he's got autism, but I think he's quite reactive. So I think he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy, but I think he reacts too harshly though sometimes. I don't think he tends to realise that people are joking. I don't think he tends to realise that people are joking. So he like when he fell out with Egg and started arguing with him in the last stream, like Egg, I can't see what Egg did. I can't see what Egg did. The only thing I think he caused that himself, and then Egg just started to like sort of goad him a bit. Well, Canada's not really similar to the US, I'd say. Canada. I wouldn't say Canada's similar to the US. I'd actually say Canada's closer in similarity to the UK, because Canada and the UK are basically like brothers. Like Canada and the Egg told me a question. No, Egg. How that all kicked off was the fact that Egg basically said something and Tyrese just responded coldly with, "Yeah, none of us care." I think Egg said something that I'm on Minecraft or something like that, and Tyrese responded with like, "Do we care?" Which he technically calls that himself. Tyrese did technically cause that, because he didn't have to harshly respond with "Do we care?" But no one was really at fault for that. No one was really at fault for that. I think everyone was at fault for that, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I know you said something about it. I can't remember exactly what you said, but I know he responded with like, "Why do we care?" Yeah. Celsius, but architecture and culture, it's kind of like the US. But there is a similar thing for that, though, Tyrese. Sorry, Swiss Rex. Sorry, because we mentioned him just now. There is a similar thing for that, Swiss. It's because the UK did build some of the architecture for both of them. Architecturally, it's closer to the UK, because the UK built Canada. Architecture, it's closer to the UK in a retrospect, because all that architecture was built by the UK. America based a lot of their architecture off Britain. So I wouldn't say that. Architecturally, it's basically because America based a lot of its early architecture off the UK. Well, I'd actually argue the UK and the US are probably the most similar, because we share a lot of information with each other. Like Joe Biden, for example, signed it into law that in a war, Great Britain could get as let me just go and turn the light on, guys. It's a bit dark. Joe Biden signed it into law that in a time of war, Great Britain can contact the Pentagon and get any information possible. Basically, the Pentagon have signed a deal with the UK, basically saying that they will give when there's a war, the Pentagon will give Great Britain any information available. Well, I wouldn't say you're too violent. America's gone quite authoritarian in recent years. America's gone quite authoritarian, whereas the UK can be authoritarian sometimes. The UK is only authoritarian when it needs to be. Yeah, Joe Biden signed a policy that Great Britain, that the Pentagon would get, and the Pentagon would, the American government would give the British soldiers information if they needed it. Basically, if Great Britain was to turn around, if Great Britain and America were fighting someone, that the Pentagon and the White House would give information to Britain, which is pretty useful. But those relationships are strained, so they are quite strained at the moment. The relationships between Britain and America are quite strained at the moment because of what Trump did in the ocean. Great Britain sees what they did with the boats as, a very bad step. Do you think Australia and the US are more closer? Nah, Australia's closer to the UK. Australia's closer to the UK technically because we can go to literally British people can go to Australia. Like. Yeah, basically in the UK, in culture it's closer to the UK, because the UK, Canada and New Zealand are Great Britain's closest allies. America is Britain's closest ally, but Australia, Canada, New Zealand. How old am I? You're talking about how old am I? Old enough. He's 54. Jesus, imagine if I was, I'd be older than my mum. Jesus Christ. US independent for life. Yeah, Australia is probably closer to the UK because historically they were part of the British Empire, so that their relationships. Australia, New Zealand. I'm talking about Bryce. I have no idea. Australia, New Zealand, and Canada never forced their way out of the UK, out of the British Empire. So basically, out of all the countries that were part of the British Empire, they are the ones that Great Britain has technically the whole world is the UK. Well, not the UK. The whole world's not the UK. Is that true? It depends. No, a Christmas pudding. No, some people start making the Christmas puddings and thing, but you don't have to. That's just an old tradition that you would make a big pudding. Christmas pudding. That's basically for people that are trying to make their pudding. So here we go. You can make Christmas pudding up to 3 months ahead or even longer. Store it in a cool, dark place or the fridge after the initial steaming to let flavours. Yeah, it doesn't take 3 months, but some people can make it 3 months early. Basically, it's not about you can make it. If I reached 1 million, I don't know, I go skydiving. Joking, I don't. I always had this head that I want to go skydiving, and then I saw how people die from it, and I'm like, no. I don't know. I do a road trip actually. It'd be called like the twat. It'd be called. I do a road trip actually. It'd be called a fat trip. You know, a fat trip across the galaxy or something. A twat's guide to Britain. That's the one. A twat's guide to Britain, and we just go to funny places. Like we go to Coxworth or something like that, or Dickington, Bumhole or something. We go to all these places with just funny names. I'm technically genetically related. I know, but there's just I don't know. I don't know. I do a road trip across Britain. Actually, it'd be called a Twat's Guide to Britain. A Twat's Guide to Britain. It's just me, just me going on a tour of Britain. We Fit, nah. We've done We Fit. You guys saw a £210 man absolutely kill himself on YouTube. The land of taxes. Well, no, our taxes are actually useful though. You know, if you injure yourself in America, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that surgery. Our taxes cover it for us. So, if I injure myself, the taxpayers paid for my surgery. Basically, if you're not a British citizen, you've got to pay for it. If you're not a British citizen, you've got to pay for it. If you're in the UK, you've got to. Break your thumb right now, so we have proof. I don't want to break my thumb. I've never broken a bone. And I'd like to keep it that way. I've never broken a bone, and I would like to keep it that way. Yeah, I've never broken a bone, and I would like to keep it that way, guys. I've sprained my ankle. I've had like other injuries, but I've never broken a bone. And I would desperately like to keep it that way. I can fix that, Joe. Yeah, no, I desperately would like to keep it that I've never broken a bone. I've had injuries when I've sprained my ankle. I sprained my ankle twice. Sorry, I sprained my ankle 3 times. I got kicked by someone and couldn't walk for a few hours, and then I walked off. And it was fine. That was because I was playing football when I was like 11, and a guy in my school year that bullied me just intentionally missed the ball and just dumb tackled me straight in the ankle. That's a flag of Belarus, isn't it? Swiss rights. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hello, my name is Corusform. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, guys, literally, I injured. Yeah, this guy in my school year missed me. This guy in my school year missed the football and literally went straight in on my ankle. But he intentionally missed. He intentionally missed, and ended up two other people in my class had to carry me to the nurse's office, to the first aid room. Yeah, I knew it was the flag of Belarus. Yeah, great story, guys. Yeah, it was. Ironically, that guy bullied me a lot. Burkina Faso. Oh yeah. I've heard of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso was a German colony. Burkina Faso was a German colony that we were given after the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. So we technically beat the Germans. We technically beat Burkina Faso in World War One without even having to go there. You're playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Cool. Yeah, Britain technically beat Burkina Faso in war without even having to go there. Because they were part of Germany. That's Egypt or Sudan. I can't tell which one it is. Well, they were once one country. Sudan, up until about 60 years ago, Sudan was part of Egypt. Sudan was once part of a greater Egypt, I think. Shit, that's not my controller, that's the spare one. Where's that one then? Oh, what flag is that? Sudan, yeah. I thought I said it was Sudan or Egypt. Like, Sudan used to be... Hello, Freddy Garcia, welcome to him. Yeah, Sudan used to be part of Egypt. Sudan... Yeah, so, the Turco-Egyptian conquest of Sudan, 1824. So, like, Egypt... Yeah, because Egypt... Ottoman Egypt, no... Because Egypt was an interesting one. Egypt, the Sultanate of Egypt was a British protectorate in Egypt from 1922 until it ceased after Egypt was independent. The Kingdom of Egypt, and then that's the Kingdom of Egypt. What was the Kingdom of Egypt? Is today part of Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Libya, and the Gaza Strip. Because that was once one super place. It was once one super country. Syria was too, yeah. Yeah, Syria was never part of that. But yeah, what is now the Gaza Strip, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, and now South Sudan, they were all once part of a greater Egypt. Until it was forcibly broken up. It's an interesting bit of history, and that all ended after the Egyptian Revolution of 1952 when they... Well, it was called the Anglo-Egyptian State. So even though the Kingdom of Egypt was independent, the military... Foreign relations, communications, and the military were all run by Britain, which is an interesting one. What flag is this? I can't even tell you. It's not Libya, because Libya looks like the United. Because obviously, I forget you've got Liberia and Libya. You've got Liberia and Libya, so they all look the same. Liberia looks like the United States flag because. Oman, okay. I'm normally pretty good at flags, but some of them are quite hard to see in the YouTube chat, live chat. I don't know how many guys have watched. I don't know how many people have watched this stream. I don't have a clue how many people have watched this stream. I need to turn my phone on. I haven't turned my phone on since 4 o'clock, since 9 o'clock this morning. I woke up, looked on my phone, went back to bed. I will admit, guys, I woke up at 9:09 this morning. I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, looked at my phone, went back to sleep, and woke up at 12. I was exhausted. I started writing a horror story last night for a competition I want to enter in May. And they avoid building modern to preserve their culture. That's pretty cool, though. I wish London would do that. I wish London would have done that. It's like London would never have done. London would never have done that. London, for example, you've got a mixture of buildings from like 1100. London, you've got a mixture of buildings built in the 1100s compared to... You've got a mixture of buildings from 1100, and then you've got a building built in 2025. And some of it looks quite ugly. That is a very odd comment to join the stream with, ROA. Right, what are we going to do, guys? We're going to start by building something. Let's cover this up. Let's cover this. Hi, welcome to the stream, ROA. Welcome to the stream. What flag is this? Mauritius, Mauritania? I don't know. I don't have a clue. I honestly don't know, to be honest. I am... not the best when it comes to flags sometimes, but some of these... Mozambique. Oh, I have heard of Mozambique. I mean, there are some countries, though, I just have not heard of. What even is that? What even is that show? I know you mentioned I'm a Celebrity, which is a good show. It is a good show. I'm glad who won, though. I'm glad who won because I couldn't stand the other guy. I'm rather glad on who won that because I couldn't stand the other candidate. Well, I couldn't stand the guy that comes second. I didn't think he should have been there. That's San Marino. I know that one. Yeah, I'm rather glad who won I'm a Celebrity this year, guys, because I couldn't stand that other guy. Well, it's run for years. It's run for years. It's a good. It is a good. So yeah, San Marino is in Italy. San Marino is surrounded by Italy, practically. Yeah. Well, it's a show. Well, you wouldn't really know about it, ROA, because it's basically a British show. But yeah, it's ran for 25 years. It's ran for 25. It's ran for 25 years. Yeah, it's basically surrounded by Italy. But yeah, it's ran for 25 years. So my favourite season, that's Dominican Republic. I think that's Dominican Republic. Yeah, thought it was because you've got Dominican Republic, and then you've got Dominica, which is like a different place, I think. Dominica. You got Dominican Republic is tiny though. Yeah, Dominican Republic. Honestly, when I've put Dominican, it's given me Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the former Everton striker. Yeah, yeah, Dominican Republic is tiny. Hold on, it's got 11 million people. It's got the population of London. How about this? There's a British flag there, so I'm going to say that's St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No, it's Bermuda. It's Bermuda. Yeah, I changed before you commented that, Swiss. I suddenly mentioned it. Before your comment come in, I changed my mind because I suddenly realised. Yeah, so I said, but it's a British territory. It is. You're not allowed to spend the British pound there, but you can use the US dollar, which I think is disgusting. I think Britain, the British territories, those British territories like those islands, I think they should all be part of the UK. Personally, those islands that we've got, I think they should just be part of the UK. I think it should be the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and Bermuda. I think we should just merge all of our overseas islands. I think we should just merge them all into the UK. How about this? That's Argentina, I think. Fiji too. Yeah, a couple of those islands, I think we should just merge them all into... All those islands, I think we should just merge them all into one. It should just be the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the United Ireland and the United Islands or something like that. I can't tell. I can't tell. My screen is really small, so I cannot see that flag. I cannot tell. Oh, Honduras. Yes, Honduras. It's oh, yeah. I could not see that flag. I cannot see some of those flags. Yeah, some of those flags are really hard to see, especially on my screen. But that's because I'm looking at the street. The live chat's not as big for me, guys, as it might be on your screens. 7,559 of you have subscribed. That's amazing. I'll be back in a second. Right, I'm back. Sorry. Joe, welcome back. You can get it on Disney. I'm a Celebrity's seasons are on a couple of their seasons are on Disney at the moment. A couple of their seasons are on Disney because Disney have stuff from ITVX on there at the moment. Hello, Jazz Vibes. Welcome to the stream. I'm not aware. I don't know. I'm glad Angry Ginge won it. I don't mind him, but I'd rather him win it than the other guy. This isn't a server. This is just my world, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm glad that he won it, guys, rather than the other guy. Because the other guy I found boring. The only thing that made him popular was his vocabulary. But if you don't care about the vocabulary, I just found him boring. There was other people I wanted to stay in over him, personally. I would have rathered H, Lisa Riley, or Jack Osborne stay in over Tom Reed Wilson. Because I found him boring. He's meant to be a massive fan of books, but in the book trial he couldn't name a single book, so it makes me wonder. Yeah, I found him boring. He just wasn't my cup of tea. It's interesting. But yeah, a couple of the people on there, well, I found him boring. There's a couple of other people I found boring. Let's quickly go to live stream. I want to see how many people have watched this live stream so far, because I haven't checked. My screen has been a little different. 197 of you have watched this stream today. Incredible. I'm probably going to end this stream soon, guys. I'm not going to stream for long today because I've got some other stuff that I need to do as well. So thank you for watching, guys. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.